Think about what you're saying. Think about it before you spit it out of your mouth. Think about it. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Casey. If you are new here, my name is Casey. I am a wife and a mom and a newborn and family photographer. And today we are going to be talking about newborn essentials. So being a mom myself and working as a newborn photographer, I have definitely developed a lot of favorite must-have items that I could not have survived the newborn stage without, that I used on a daily basis. So that is what I'm sharing with you today. So I find the key to having a really chill, calm, relaxed baby, especially in the newborn stage, is attempting to recreate the environment that they just came from, that they got used to for the past 9 months. So that looks like keeping them nice and cozy, nice and snuggled up, nice and warm, but also having some white noise in the background. This first item is a sound machine. I use this one, especially in my studio, very often. This is a portable version. This is called the Baby SHUSHER, and it's pretty much magic, I gotta say. It's not as much of a white noise machine as it is a sound machine, so it recreates the shushing noise. So that noise is just really calming and soothing to babies, and it works really well in settling them and keeping them settled. If you think about it, the womb was a very noisy place, I would imagine. I think they say that it's something like as loud as a vacuum inside of there. I don't know, but there's a lot of extra blood flow. There's a lot of outside noises coming in. So baby is not used to it being perfectly quiet. So like I said, I use this brand a lot during my newborn sessions in the studio because it is portable. It doesn't have to plug into the wall. It's also really helpful in the car. The only thing that I would say is a con about this is there are two settings. One is the shushing goes for 15 minutes. One is 30 minutes, which seems like a long time. Might be a long time if you have a short car ride or something like that. But during a newborn session, that's a few hours. It's like mildly annoying to have to turn it back on again, but I mean, slight inconvenience. It works really well. Can't really complain about it. We also have a second sound machine that is currently upstairs in my son's room, plugged in because he is sleeping, so I can't show it to you, but it is the DOHM sound machine, and that is more of just a white noise rather than the shushing of the Baby SHUSHER. No complaints there. We really love that one. It stays sedentary in his room, plugged in all the time, so that's really helpful. The only thing that is annoying is when the power goes out. So another thing I like to take into consideration when I'm trying to recreate the womb environment is how snuggled and cozy baby is. So this swaddle is one of my very favorite brands. This is the Copper Pearl brand. This one in particular is really special because it was gifted to us, and it was also the swaddle that we brought along in our hospital bag and took pictures of my son in at the hospital, so that's really awesome. But I have a few of this brand. They are different from a lot of other swaddles that you might see because it is a really stretchy fabric, and it's also really soft, but stretchy, more importantly. So I find the key, especially in my newborn studio, to getting a really cozy baby is a nice and tight swaddle. And I know it's especially really hard for new parents to try to get them swaddled up really tight. It's something that takes a lot of practice. So I know a lot of my clients say that their baby hates the swaddle, that they really just don't like it, they kick out of it. I hate to break it to you, but your baby is probably playing you if you think that is the case. I mean, maybe they really don't. Maybe there's a baby out there, but I have yet to come across a baby that is really uncomfortable in a swaddle. If you think about it, the womb was not a roomy place, so this is really just comforting for them to be nice and snuggled up again like they were. So I know that swaddling with a swaddle blanket can be kind of tricky sometimes, especially if you're sleep deprived, you're a new parent. Just trying to figure it out isn't always the most convenient thing. So that is when these things come in. This is the Halo SLEEPSACK swaddle. We used these when my son was a newborn. I think this is a bigger than a newborn size. So these are super convenient. You just kind of zip them up in there, stick their arms in the armholes, and then the Velcro comes around. Wham bam, they are stuck in there nice and tight. They can't get their arms out, they can't kick their legs out. Especially for nighttime, it's just much easier than having to worry about a swaddle blanket sometimes. So we use these a lot. My son is actually still in a sleep sack, but not one that swaddles his arms in, obviously. But the nice thing about this as well is you can use them for the transition from arms in a swaddle to arms out, which happens when a baby can roll over on their own. But that's a little later down the line. That's not a newborn thing, but that's just really nice that you can also do that with these swaddles. So this next item is one I'm sure everyone is familiar with. This is a baby sleeper. I definitely recommend having a lot of these. They are so convenient in the newborn stage. Every time that I have a newborn client bringing their baby into the studio, I recommend that they dress them in a sleeper just like this, so I can easily undress them without having to pull something over their head. So you can just unzip it, unbutton it, whatever it may be, and they are undisturbed that way. So what makes this sleeper specifically my favorite is two things. One, it uses zippers instead of buttons. If you have had children yourself, I'm sure that you know that the buttons may be super cute sometimes, but not always super convenient. It takes a lot of time. You have to line them all up when it's the middle of the night and you're super sleep deprived. It just doesn't seem to go well. This brand specifically does something really cool that I didn't think about until I was a parent myself, but it unzips from the bottom to the top, which is really convenient, especially the newborn stage when you are doing so many diaper changes. You can unzip it halfway, do a diaper change, zip it back down, and you don't have to disturb them at all on top. So they don't have to be undressed or cold or uncomfortable at all for half of their body. So it makes it a lot more tolerable for them, a lot less crying involved, super convenient. This next item is kind of like a duh, of course you would have it, but these are burp cloths. I had a lot of people tell me when I was pregnant that I wouldn't use actual burp cloths. I wouldn't need them. You can just use blankets or whatever you have nearby to mop up, spit up, but that wasn't the case for me. We always used an actual burp cloth, but maybe that's just preference. I don't know. These ones especially I loved. They're from Target. They were like $6 or $7 for like a 6-pack, I think, but that was really nice because I bought a lot of them. I didn't realize just how many it would be nice to have. So I had one in the diaper bag, I had one in the living room, I had one in the bedroom, I had one in my office. Wherever we were, we would have a burp cloth nearby, so we wouldn't have to run and find one, because you never know when spit up is gonna happen. If you have a newborn, I'm sure you understand that. I also have seen people spend a lot of money on like fancy brands of burp cloths that are really expensive, but honestly, like if you think about it, you're mopping up barf. So it just didn't make sense to me to waste a lot of money on that. If that is a priority for you, to each his own, but the cheap ones from Target worked really, really well for us. So when babies are first born, there's a lot of fluid and boogers and all sorts of grossness that they're still working through to clear out of their lungs and their nose and all of that. So when they sleep, when they breathe, they make a lot of snorting and snarling and all snoring. So we used this very often to help with that. This is the nose FRIDA. So you put this end in your mouth and you put this end in baby's nose and you suck. It's essentially like that sucky ball thing that they give you in the hospital to clear out baby's nose, but a lot stronger because you can control the suction because you're doing it yourself. I know that people think that is gross sometimes, but usually the people who think that it's gross don't have kids. Like when you have kids, everything that you think is gross kind of goes out the window, honestly. But no, boogers will not get in your mouth. There's a filter right here that keeps that from happening. Honestly, I've never even had them come close anyway. I also really liked about this specifically is that the tube is clear, so you can see how much you're getting, what you're getting on a baby's nose. Yeah, it was just really helpful. I know that sometimes my son would wake himself up because he was like snorting so loud. So this just helped to clear his airway a little bit and gave us peace of mind too as well, because he wasn't breathing as loudly, which can be kind of alarming when you're a new parent. I also recommend a good humidifier, but that is also up in my son's room right now, so I can't show you. But if I remember the brand of ours, I will link it down below because we really like it. It works really well. One of my other favorite things for the newborn stage was this guy. This is the BOPPY Lounger. I know BOPPY makes a lot of different products. They make like the pillow for breastfeeding, which also I use a lot, but the Lounger more so. So this one is specifically just for baby to lay in and lounge, just like it says. So it's nice to have a place for them just to be able to look around, just be near you. So I found this super convenient because I could just plop it on the couch next to me, or I could plop it on the floor if I was getting ready, plop it on the bed if I was sitting on the bed. I had a super alert baby from the very beginning who just loved to sit and look around and take it all in. So this worked really well for him. There are all sorts of gadgets that you can plop your baby in that vibrate and swing and bounce and all of the things. But honestly, my son preferred the Lounger over all of those most of the time in the newborn stage. This is also really helpful for me when I am doing a newborn session in the studio. If I have baby in a prop, pull him out of the prop, sit him on the Lounger, change the prop, pick them back up. It's just really helpful to not disturb them as much, so we're not passing them around to a whole bunch of different people. I can just plop them right down, pick them right back up again. Works really well. I will say the only thing that was a con for me about this is not a cover that like unzippers that I can throw in the wash. So when we washed it, we had to throw the entire pillow into the wash. And that was really inconvenient some days, especially because we used it so often and it took forever to dry. Forever. It wasn't so much the washing. We did a lot of laundry back then, but the drying, it took days and days. So my little hack for that is this guy. This is a puppy pee pad. So I had these left over from when we had a puppy. I use them a lot in the newborn studio as well. But what I did is just plop the pee pad over it. And then this was a great time to use some of the swaddles that I didn't swaddle with, that were cotton or flannel or muslin. Just plop that right over the pee pad so it's nice and soft for him. Plop baby in. Works like a dream. I'm sure that they make pee pads that are not disposable, like this one, that are washable, but we just had a bunch of the disposable ones. Worked really well. Again, convenience was key for us, so sure that wasn't super great for the earth, but I'm sorry, please forgive me. These last two products that I'm going to share with you are actually not physical things that I can show you, they are apps. So the first one is the Wonder Weeks app. This is a book as well, but we just happened to buy the app. I think it was like $3 or $4 in the Apple store, but completely worth it. Trust me, you're gonna love it. So what it is, it explains the developmental leaps that baby is going to be going through and when that they are occurring. We still use this app to this day. My son is actually in his last leap right now. It's really funny, every time that I have the thought, like, why is he being so fuzzy right now? He's like so unsettled. Nothing is calming him down. I would go into my app and sure enough, he would be in the middle of a leap. So the app is really cool because it has a lot more information about what a leap is, what they are learning. You enter your due date, not your birth date, and there's a whole section in there that talks about why they do that as well. My favorite part of it is the leap chart. So you can pull up this little chart according to your baby's due date, and it shows you all of the time periods where they might be going through a leap by this little storm cloud that is above them. So it's just fascinating to me to learn more about the milestones during that period, what they're learning, what they're going through. It's just really, really helpful. The second app is called Baby Tracker. We use this more so in the newborn stage. We don't use it anymore, but it's just really helpful to keep track of what you are doing when. Especially when you have a spouse involved or other caregivers involved and you are sleep deprived, it is really hard to keep track of who did what when. I know my husband and I were like, did you feed him? What time did he wake up? When was his last diaper change? Do you know? I don't know. So this app was really, really convenient for the both of us. We made an account and we could sync it to both of our phones and we could keep track of the last time that he ate, the last time that he was changed, the last time that he slept, how long he slept, last time that I pumped or breastfed, all of the things. It was just awesome to have it all in one place so we were all on the same page, just made things run a lot more smoothly. So that is it for my newborn essential must-have items. Hopefully this was helpful to you. I know this is one of my very favorite videos to watch when I was pregnant. I just loved learning about what everyone else found helpful, what everyone else thought they couldn't live without. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next Coffee with Casey.